Welcome to Daily Drive for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. Today on the show, Ford CEO Jim Farley reportedly discussed U.S.-China car-making joint ventures with Trump officials. GM targets full capacity at South Korean plants despite tariff threats. And we remember civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, who died today at age 84. Plus, Maria Anhalt, CEO of Elektrobit, joins us to discuss how software-defined vehicles will transform the ownership experience.
You will be able to navigate and have the experience in the car personalized to your own needs, and the car can learn with you.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry. It looks like Ford is exploring partnerships with Chinese automakers to navigate potential competition. According to Bloomberg News, CEO Jim Farley reportedly discussed a framework with Trump cabinet members last month. In that framework, Chinese automakers could build cars in America through joint ventures, with U.S. companies holding controlling stakes, and both partners sharing profits and technology. People familiar with the situation said the idea got a cold reception from officials, including Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. They felt it would face opposition due to economic and national security concerns. Meanwhile, General Motors told the administration it opposes Chinese entry entirely. Speaking of GM, the Detroit automaker is targeting full capacity at its South Korean plants this year to meet U.S. demand for the Chevrolet Trax and Trailblazer crossovers. It plans to build 500,000 vehicles despite tariff headwinds. The push also supplies their platform mates, the Buick Encore GX and Envista. President Trump has threatened to raise duties on Korean-made vehicles from 15% to 25%. A GM spokesperson confirmed the automaker aims to operate its plants at full capacity to meet strong global demand. The plan tests GM's commitment to using South Korea as a low-cost export base to North America. And civil rights leader Jesse Jackson has died at age 84. Jackson was known for pressing the auto industry to hire African Americans, create and protect jobs in urban areas, and support Black-owned dealerships and suppliers. In 1998, his Rainbow Push Coalition opened a Detroit office to advocate for minority dealerships and suppliers. In 2008, with Detroit's Big Three struggling during the financial crisis, Jackson organized rallies calling for federal assistance to preserve millions of jobs. He disclosed in 2017 that he had Parkinson's disease. According to a statement, he died today surrounded by his family. Our own Vince Vaughn Jr. has been covering Jackson's automotive advocacy work, and he joins me now to talk about it. Vince, welcome back to Daily Drive.
Thank you.
So, Vince, what was Jackson's most significant impact on the auto industry?
Well, his impact was immense. So for him, having Black workers on the factory floor wasn't enough. He fought for Black representation in the C-suites, in the executive offices. He wanted people to have a voice and be at the table. He also believed that, minorities shouldn't be limited to being consumers. He wanted what he called two-way trade and mutual relationships. And so, don't just sell cars to minorities, also bring them into the offices, make them executives, make sure they are in the companies, making decisions as well. Or as he used to say all the time, to me, two-way trade. So that was a really, really huge impact that he had.
And how did automakers typically respond to Jackson's pressure campaigns around minority hiring and supplier opportunities?
Well, over the years, he had a really, really strong relationship with automakers. Over the years, they've had their annual Global Automotive Summit in Detroit, where they bring together automakers and dealers, and they have just, thought-provoking discussions about the industry and how to move it forward. And automakers are always there as major sponsors and having, CEOs come to the event to do interviews with Jackson on stage. And so their relationship was awesome over the years. And I know it will continue in the future with Rainbow Push, even after, the Reverend is gone.
Perfect. Vince Vaughn Jr., thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Coming up, Elektrobit CEO Maria Anhalt talks about how software-defined vehicles will change the ownership experience and why the industry needs to accelerate development timelines. That's next on Daily Drive.
Are you a dealer creating a workplace culture your employees are proud to be part of? Applications are now open for the 2026 Automotive News Best Dealerships to Work For program. This isn't just an award, it's a chance to get real insight into what's working at your dealership and where you can improve. And we've expanded the categories this year, recognizing everything from technician experience and leadership development to AI enablement and employee retention. The registration deadline is April 17th. Find out more and apply at autonews.com.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. Software-defined vehicles promise to keep cars feeling fresh through over-the-air updates, but they could also change how long people hold on to their vehicles. On the latest episode of the Automotive News Shift podcast, our own Molly Boygan spoke with Maria Anhalt, CEO of Elektrobit. Here's a piece of their conversation from CES 2026 here in Las Vegas.
So at CES 2026, Elektrobit announced EB Civion, a virtual environment that in part is meant to accelerate the pace of development. Why do you think it's important for the auto industry to speed up development timelines?
It's really important because if you look at what is happening in the automotive industry today, we are so squeezed between economical, technological, organizational pressure for getting everything much quicker at a better cost. So everything that we can do to speed up the development, to reduce the cost, to enable people to run faster is a goodie. It's a good thing for the customers. And for us, while we're doing Civion, it is a new product offering as part of our service engineering offering for the digital life experience, which is mostly infotainment and cockpits. It's a service differentiated piece. Now, if we release something that has software modules and it's being reusable, then automatically we reduce the cost. Then the risk is lower, then people can develop it much faster.
Do you expect that with software-defined vehicles enabling new vehicle functionalities and capabilities via over-the-air updates, that will change the vehicle ownership cycle? In other words, do you think that people will hold on to their vehicles for longer, or given this faster pace of development, like consumer electronics, people will be attracted to the newer generations of vehicles?
Okay, that's a good one. So see, what software-defined vehicle is doing is nothing specifically for the length of the cycle. What it is doing is to enrich the value of the vehicle. So if we look at the traditional development, then there is a depreciation of the cost. The longer you own the car, then features get out of life, the car is not current any longer. With the software-defined approach, then you can update the functionality frequently so that the car is more current, so that the value stays up. So it's nothing with the longevity of the life cycle, it's rather keeping the value of the car current and having more state-of-the-art technology. But to your question, can SDV prolong the lifetime, yes or no? It can do both. So if we do it very, very well, then customers may be so jazzed. I love my car. I love how it behaves. I can always download new features. Then I'll keep it. No need to spend more time. So you're extending this, but it could be also done in a way where the updatability does not work well. Just to give you an example, I have a colleague of mine. In fact, Moritz. So he drives like a high-end car, and 2 years ago he had a feature in his car with the cruise control. So this car did not stop at the red light. So he went back to the OEM and complained, and they could not update it. They could not upgrade it. So what they had to do is get back the car and replace the entire car. So see, if we don't do it right, make it possible to update and upgrade it, then you automatically shorten the life cycle.
Right. And that's Moritz Neukirchner, an
Yes.
Elektrobit colleague.
Yes.
And that would be a tough experience for a dealership to have him come in and say, there's something wrong with this car.
Yeah.
So I wonder about as you said, the industry sees this development cycle, timeline, acceleration as very important to save money, to offer features to consumers, to keep the vehicles feeling fresh. I also feel sometimes in my life outside of covering the auto industry, people don't even really know how to navigate some of the newer features of their cars. Do you think that the industry is making all of these changes and sort of rolling all of these innovations out to meet the present moment or to sort of basically prepare for future demand?
It's the latter, prepare for future demand. And also depends on regional differences. If you're in China, for example, in Shanghai, so people love a lot of things and juggle and operate and configure. So the cockpit looks very different than if you're in the US and what people expect to do. But independent of that, if we look now in usage of AI, predictive analytics, speak to the car, use your voice, use Gen AI, then you can do a lot of things with this out-of-the-box technology, not even having to configure something and deal with the technology. So automatically, you will be able to navigate and have the experience in the car personalized to your own needs, and the car can learn with you.
Mm-hmm. So I think at this point, it's a little bit of a race to provide some of these features that have been in development and in the pipeline. Like, people are always talking about really natural, responsive voice assistants. They're talking about vehicle personalization.
Yeah.
They're talking about other digital cockpit offerings, subscriptions.
Yeah.
And I wonder if so many industry players are working on setting the table for those things at the same time, if they'll truly be differentiating, or where differentiation will come from once those features are standard.
It is extensibility. You can add so many features. So see, before I moved to automotive, I spent 20 years in a high-tech bit. I worked for HP. So many years back, we were wondering what is the e-service. Now, the internet came and all these different industries came in that displace. We have Uber in the taxi industry, we have Airbnb and the hotel industry. And I'm quite sure that we will look into services and extending functionality based in the mobility that we cannot even imagine today. So you can do the things that are like predictive maintenance, and then you can have the car self-drive back and replace but you can use the vehicle for anything else and not just to move from A to B. For example, so I live in Germany and I work, and I hated to order something and then how to get it delivered. So what is possible in the technology today, and nobody enable it, use your trunk as a box where your goods can be delivered. Just open it up. You can use it for that. You can buy a vehicle that includes everything, all of the functionality, but you don't pay for this. So once you need the technology, you subscribe. It's enabled. You pay only for that. And I'm going to skiing to Austria. I pay for the automated driver assistance. I drive the highway or self-drive, return back, send the feedback, go back. So there are many things that you can imagine that you can do based on the technology and use the vehicle for anything else than mobility.
Our own Molly Boygan spoke with Elektrobit CEO Maria Anhalt at CES 2026 here in Las Vegas. You can hear the full conversation on the Automotive News Shift podcast. That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as our own Hans Greimel and Vince Bond Jr. for their reporting for today's podcast. You can get the latest news on software-defined vehicles, the prospect of Chinese automakers entering the U.S., and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. Come back tomorrow for a conversation with Reynolds & Reynolds President and Acting CEO Chris Walsh about the company's record year and how their unified data layer is powering the next generation of AI tools for dealers.
You're going to come in, you might log into your computer first thing in the morning, and it might say, hey, Mark, one thing you might want to look at today, and it's going to give you, an insight based on the data. So I think that's where all this is kind of going to, now.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoyed the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.